Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I decided to make another video. It is almost Valentine's Day, and y'all know I'm not a romance girly, but I still wanted to make a video Valentine's Day adjacent. And so thinking about what kind of video could I make that is appropriate to my channel when I don't read romance and I don't enjoy romance whatsoever. Well, how about we make a list of the worst romance tropes? Romance tropes that just give me the ick. This video is intended to just be fun. It's not mean-spirited. I'm an advocate for everyone enjoying what they want and not feeling ashamed of anything. So if there are any tropes on this list that are some of your faves, I'm not trying to be mean. I just wanted to make a list of stuff that I'm not really a fan of, you know? One of my lights turned off in here. I gotta go turn it back on. Be right back. Valentine's Day is also the reason I'm dressed like a girl. I don't know. You don't normally see me like this, and I don't normally see me like this, but here we are. Also, this video is uploading on my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom! Oh, and for the sake of keeping this video more lighthearted, I'm not going to be talking about tropes that I think are genuinely problematic or that make me triggered and uncomfortable in real life. So I'm not going to be talking about like stalker romances or abuse romances, that sort of thing. I just don't want to talk about those today. I don't like them. They definitely give me some kind of ick, but they're not on the list because we're having fun. So coming in at number 7 is the terrible ex. This is a trope that transcends genre. I know that it's in the romance genre a lot, but I see it in the stuff I read as well, and in movies and just media in general. This trope essentially is that one or both of the main love interests or main characters has this ex-partner that is the devil. The ex-partner is this one-dimensional character that is written solely to be like the worst person you've ever heard of. They're just an antagonist meant to bring more drama into the storyline or to make you feel worse for the main character. And yeah, well, some of our exes suck in real life. Like, it's just lazy. It's just lazy. It's just a lazy trope. These ex-partners are written with like no redeeming characteristics that make you wonder, why did the main character date this person to begin with? And not getting into the psychology of relationships and abuse. Again, we're having fun. I'm talking about those ex-partner characters that are like, come on, this is not a real person. I would find it much more compelling if the character's ex-partner was a good person and had a great character and storyline, and that would bring a lot more actual tension into the book. Number 6 is the secret baby trope. I actually don't have a big problem with this trope. I know that a lot of people do for various reasons. One being that just pregnancy is a delicate subject and a triggering topic for a lot of people. It's not that bad for me. I don't have an issue with it, but I still think it's a weird one. The trope, from my understanding, because I don't read a lot of romance, so when secret babies happen in like the stuff I read, like fantasy and horror, it's usually for a different plot point than romance. But in the romance genre, it's usually like the mother of the child never told the father that they are the father until later on, and now they're, you know, forced to come together over this baby. Stuff like that, I guess. And the reason this is on the list is because it's just not something I'm a fan of. I guess it doesn't really give me the ick, which is the title of this list, but I just kind of find it boring. I've also never heard of anyone who's interested in the secret baby trope. I mean, it's cool in fantasy when there's a descendant, I guess, that we didn't know about. Maybe I actually like this trope. I'm thinking about Targaryens now. Are they secret babies? Is that the secret baby trope? Maybe this didn't belong on the list. I'm confusing myself while talking. But ultimately, I don't know. I just don't think the secret baby trope is a good one, and I don't like it, and I will never have it in my writing. I think this also ties into pregnancy trope, which I have seen in movies and stuff where like the characters are gonna break up, but then she finds out she's pregnant, and it's like, oh no, we're gonna stay together for the baby. My number 5 ickiest romance trope is fated mates. Again, this is something that kind of transcends genres. It's not really found in contemporary romance because fated mates is more of like a magical thing. Although I suppose this is also the soulmate trope. I don't believe in soulmates, just as a general statement. That's not a thing. But fated mates essentially is two characters for some magical or cosmic reason are destined to be together. This trope just makes me kind of roll my eyes because, again, I don't know, it just feels lazy to me. If we know two characters are fated to be together, that takes out all of the buildup and tension in my eyes. I know it's huge in the Omega-verse. Is that the werewolf universe? Where like, they're literally mates because they're wolves. Like how Jacob Black imprinted on Bella Swan's baby, which was the weirdest, creepiest move that's ever been made in any book. But even in some really well-regarded high fantasy novels, there are fated mates or like destined stuff. Wheel of Time, anyone? And it's just boring and weird and icky. No more fated mates. I've banned it. Number 4 is who did this to you? This is a romance trope that happens a lot. And a lot of the time it's between the enemies to lovers. And people love this trope. The literal phrase, who did this to you, is used as like a buzzword tag to sell books. In those infographics where it's like the book cover and the arrows showing like what buzzwords are in it, it will say, who did this to you? And that makes me just cringe. Who did this to you is when one character sees an injury on their love interest, secret love interest, enemy, whatever, and it like changes everything. The reason it's usually in enemies to lovers is because they will be like fighting and whatever, and then he'll see a scar on her and is like, who did this to you? And he vows revenge on that person and is gonna get revenge for her slash him slash whatever. The reason I don't like who did this to you as a trope is because I never find that it's done very well. It always seems to be used instead of an actual conversation. And because it is usually the male love interest seeing an injury on the female love interest, whoever the POV is, instead of like learning more about her as a person and bonding over like actual things, he now is her protector. And I've never come across that done in a way that feels like the girl has any agency. She's always like, oh no, don't look at my scars. And he's like, I will go to the ends of the earth to kill the man that scarred you. I'll say it. It feels misogynistic, but maybe it just feels that way. I don't know. I know you guys love that trope. I'm sorry, but I don't like it. Really similarly to that is my number 3 hated ickiest trope. And it's the touch her and die trope. Again, you love this trope. It's all over the infographics. Touch her and die is exactly what it sounds like. He's the protector, she's a weak little baby. It's a man being manly and a girl being useless. I know it doesn't actually boil down to that. Please don't yell at me. There are instances of touch her and die that are done well, in my opinion. I can't think of any off the top of my head, and I can think of a lot of times where it's done really poorly. I don't know, I just feel like usually when it's used, again, it's this like tropey, symbolic nonsense that happens instead of actual character development. Instead of the love interest doing anything actually heroic or meaningful or thought out plot-wise, we just throw in touch her and die. I know you love your protective men with wings. Maybe I'm just really anti-men. Maybe that's what that's coming down to. As the list progresses, I'm getting angrier and angrier because number 2, this was almost my number 1, but then I remembered what my actual number 1 is. Number 2 is love triangles, guys. Thankfully, I'm seeing this less and less, especially in adult fiction. I don't actually know about romance. Maybe it's still alive and well in romance, but in fantasy and sci-fi and adult fiction, there are fewer love triangles. It really is a staple of young adult books. I already mentioned Twilight in this video. I can mention it again. That was peak 2008 love triangle. I just hate it because, again, usually when I see a love triangle in my literature, it takes away from whatever the actual plot is. And maybe this just comes back to my disinterest in romance itself, but I'm really, really over the who are they gonna pick? Is it gonna be this guy with the black hair or this guy with the blonde hair? Oh no! Honestly, add in more love interests. Let's get some love octagons going. I'm here for that. All right. My number one ickiest, most hated trope is the miscommunication trope. I hate this. This is not even about romance now. This is just about books in general. Miscommunication trope is the worst, most ridiculously stupid plot trope device out there. Characters need to just freaking talk to each other. I hate it in books. I'm so angry right now. I hate it in books when a character has the exact information or the exact thought that will solve all the problems, correct all of the miscommunications and misunderstandings, but they choose to hold it back and not explain themselves. Most of the time, for reasons that make no sense. Most of the time, there is no reason. The character is just like, but I won't say that. And the author doesn't even bother to tell us why. They just don't say it. When applying this to romance, it is usually just about like, now the characters are gonna break up because of a misunderstanding, and they spend 99% of the book just talking circles around the misunderstanding, or not talking to each other at all, and thinking each other hates them or is doing something they're not really doing, and then at the end they're like, oh my god, it was all a misunderstanding, we love each other, the end. I don't like it. I know I got a little heated there, and I'm sorry, but I'm very passionate about some of these things. So since this video was a little bit anti-Valentine's Day, anti-romance tropes, I thought I'd end it with a list of romance tropes that I inexplicably love. And for all of the crap I gave all of these other romance tropes, I have no reason to justify why I love the ones I'm gonna talk about now. Maybe you hate them and now I'm just a hypocrite. But here are 4 romance tropes that I adore. The one bed trope. Oh my gosh, when 2 characters go to a place and there's only one bed and they have to share it because it, you know, you can't sleep on the floor or somewhere else, you have to share the bed. I really like that. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But I am a simp for it. Forced proximity. 2 characters are going on a quest together that they have to complete together. Or what about like at the start of Dance of Thieves when they're literally shackled together by their ankles, so they just like kiss because they're bored. Fake dating / forced marriage or arranged marriage. I don't really know the right terminology. As long as it's done in a not like abusive, assaulty way, I love it. They have to pretend to be boyfriend, girlfriend for whatever nonsensical reason. I don't even care that there's no reason. I like it. And lastly, this is kind of the same thing, I guess, but on a more micro level. It's that thing where they have to kiss in public to blend in. It's different from fake dating because it only happens one time. You know, they're spies maybe and they have to blend into the crowd, so they kiss. Ooh, like Captain America and Black Widow that one time. Even though that went nowhere, and I'm glad it went nowhere, I still enjoyed the scene a lot. Okay, thank you for coming to my completely hypocritical rant about romance tropes that I hate / love. I challenge you to find me examples of all of the romance tropes that I listed that give me the ick, and put them in the comments if you think I am wrong and I would actually really like them. That was very wordy, but I hope you know what I meant. What romance tropes do you guys hate / love? Please remember that this video was just a little Valentine's Day treat for all of you, my loves. I don't mean to make anyone angry. If I insulted your favorite tropes, I'm sorry. We're just having fun here. Before I go, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell icon so you know when I upload new videos. I upload 2 days a week. I love you guys. Goodbye. Happy Valentine's Day. Mwah.